Now, I don't, again, this might be difficult as hell for you lot to read. It might even be difficult for me to read still. But let's try, people. Pardon me. Obviously, I tried my best to cut out the waffle and not to be harsh on the journalists, but I'm not there for their opinions. I'm kind of there for the facts. So, and admittedly, I was doing this with the last 5 minutes until we started. So I kind of tried to whittle it down quickly. So apologies if you can't see this, people. But let me zoom out one more time because I can't really see it. But as you lot can see here, obviously, I'm trying to. Spoiler alert, I can see you lot in front of me and I've got my screen to the side. It's just I'm always conscious of the fact that I'd like to look straight at you, but it just looks way too small. I can barely see it on this screen, but that screen's a bit mad. But as you lot can see here, or just better yet here, the list of tasks for the rebuild Mikel Arteta wants is long, but it should be a priority to ensure that the playmaker role is so well covered that Smith Rowe's not the only one able to carry that particular workload. Fact, the absence of any such instincts in the first half of last season during the dreary limbo period while Ozil trained alone without an official squad number and before Smith Rowe or January signing Martin Odegaard had emerged, it was bleak and that cannot happen again. And I think that was just a case of, in football, you need to have humility. You need to be humble and accept that I got things wrong. And I think that period with freezing out Ozil, playing Willian all the time, certain managers need to know that. And sometimes I just get it wrong. And sometimes you have to learn to use people you don't like. You can't always in life and in football and in anything, you can't always see good results. Sometimes you need people you fucking can't, pardon my language, stand to get somewhere. And it's about playing the game. And maybe there's something Arteta could learn in my opinion. But as I said, I was trying to cut out the tosh. The ability to ignite a creative spark is a fundamental area for improvement for a team that has to play catch up in terms of chance creation and conversion. Statistically, Arsenal were underperformed in both categories last season. 9th for goals. You know, everyone's here to say, oh, 3 points off the top 4, bro. You can't listen. You're allowed to criticize the manager. You know, individually, these players need to do more, but come on now. None of these players are amazing, but come on now. If you understand ball, you don't want to play against half of these guys. So we should be putting problems for defenses. For defenses, you've got Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe. You've got all of this. So why isn't it working? In defense, I think you need better players. In attack, I would always welcome better players than what we have. That's how you improve. But I think it's more a coaching thing. You've got to find that freedom within a framework because we're not pressing together. So we're not defending particularly well, and it's very easy to suss us out. Because our midfield they can't play forward passes consistently. The 10 dropped. Aubameyang's a service reliant man. He's not in the game. More time, Pepe or Saka, their right back ain't on nothing unless it's been Chambers or something. So they're dropping to the halfway line, and suddenly the opposition is just getting further and further into our half. And this is what I mean by way before we talk about any other problems. Why we've won or lost the game, we've shot ourselves in the foot consistently. And creativity, it can be solved with an organic 10. The Smith Rowe, the Odegaard, you can find an 8.5. But we need to improve. And that, how are you going to improve that? By working in pre-season. Patterns of play, doing things to muscle memory, the third man runners. You see, typically when Lacazette, Smith Rowe, Saka, these individual bits of brilliance that needs to become muscle memory. I'm not here to say, to say we need Wenger back and them things, but under Wenger, for all the problems we had, that was muscle memory. We need to get back to that sort of level. If you fashion them chances 10 times a game, you might get 2 goals versus not doing it for 5 games and then randomly it's the sun shining in North London and we decide to play. Maybe we watch some Bergkamp and Henry videos prior and we're on it. There's issues, people. Like my guy, shout out to the members. Make sure you're rising up the likes, people. Very appreciative of that. Shout out to the Twitch gang as well. I hope you're all doing well and safe on this Friday, whoever you are, and obviously wherever you are. We're at 108 likes, people. Very appreciative. But scrolling on, ringing in an alternative who is able to both play instead of Smith Rowe or dovetail with him in the spaces behind and wide of a center striker, the Odegaard role, if you will, is imperative. Right now, it is a backup burner situation. I don't know how to feel about that, but I would concede that because I think our priority surely has to be centre half and right back, because as much as I think centre mid and creativity is vital and as vital, you can't build a house backwards. So if this is where delegation and stuff and whatnot is vital this season, because everyone can't be everywhere. But if our priority is to complete in this Ben White deal and getting those sort of things done, I hear it, but I can't I can't hear back burner because we need a number 8. You've got a 6 in Partey. You've brought in another one that can play 6 allegedly in Lokonga. You need an 8. If you can't bring a 10, then you need an 8. You need that. And then it's a coaching thing on top of everything because, you know, a 10 isn't going to solve all our problems. An 8 isn't going to solve all our problems. You know, Gabriel signing didn't solve all our problems at centre-half. Neither did Marie. I'm not trying to belittle them. My point being, signing players is half the job. You know, if it was a case of signing people to get better, statistically, we're always signing players. Whether they're good is another thing, but another thing is the coaching. You know, why did Partey struggle on top of not having the preseason and things he needs to answer for? Because there's no 8 next to him. We're signing players, and I don't like to look at players as pieces of meat and things, but they're tools. You sign one tool, you buy one tool. You know, if you sign a nail, you're gonna have to buy a hammer, aren't you? Or if you ain't got a hammer, you're gonna need the back of a knife. You're gonna need something else to nail it in, unless you're a mad one and you want to use your fist. We're doing these problems. You sign Gabriel. There's, apart from Luis, there's not really been a partner, and this is why beyond players calm, purple patch, and then they rub themselves out. This is an issue, and this is a summer for everybody to work together. There's no excuses. There's no excuses because everyone's going to face serious questions come December, and the way we're moving, certain man might not make it to December. It is imperative, you know. Shout out to this guy saying it in smart roles. So, you know, it shouldn't be at the back burner because for me, I read that as midfield. Fair enough. I might be misinterpreting. It might be more creative, but midfield needs to get addressed because there's many ways to improve midfield. We don't defend from the front. We're not mad solid. We ain't got no one apart from Smith Rowe who can do a Grealish thing and hold on to the ball, and games where under the cosh, go forward and you know, just dribble and win a foul and get your team higher up the field. We ain't got guys who can control a game like that. You look at Arsenal's midfield, what are we about? None of them are actually bad players, but you look at them, you know, if there was a bunch of ingredients, what are they? What meal is being made? You know, what can you make? You know, and if it is a meal, you don't really want to eat it, do you? So something needs to happen. So it is really and truly. Apparently, Arsenal have to be very wary of that particular fire burning out. It is too crucial a role in the team. I mean, I don't think we need any articles or I need to make any live streams or any shout out to everyone, hit the like button or do any of these things. We all know Arsenal's problem with creativity. We all know what it, among other things, how it cost us. So if you lot can go through that season where you lot are behind the scenes, you lot are living, breathing, seeing the failures. If you can't do a thing in this preseason, boy, there's no excuses. And there's no hiding place, and it's long for everyone. So working on that theory that they need to recruit someone in addition to retain in Smith Rowe, who might that be? Apparently, Arteta holds Odegaard, borrowed halfway through last season from Real Madrid, in high regard, although the ball is not in their court. Arsenal want to be ready to pounce if Odegaard finds himself on the market again. The Emirates door remains open for the Norwegian. Arsenal might wait until August to see if he gets game time at Madrid under their new / old boss Carlo Ancelotti, manager, if you will. Scrolling on, it went on to say Hosuma Aouar was a serious prospect during the last summer window. Interest has subsequently cooled after some on and off the field reports in the first half of last season. There are those within the club who believe Aouar represents an affordable option because the Liga teams are under increased financial pressure, but there's no longer a consensus on him. So far, Arsenal have not gone back to Lyon with a bid. It doesn't look as if this position will be sorted imminently. So again, if it's not going to be sorted imminently or in anytime soon, Arteta is not going to have his preseason to work with people. He might get a Lokonga and that's about it, Tavares. But with respect, I doubt either player was brought into play significantly. It's another summer of not a partner with Partey. Again, not everyone's situation is the same, but could you be surprised if you was to somehow bring Aouar in the last half of the window and then he struggles? Boy, I hope there's some grand scheme plan. There's something we don't know. Like I said, I'm prepared to shut my mouth, but come the end of the window, if things are not addressed, then we need to be very vocal. Elsewhere across the squad, considerable negotiations is ongoing. The daunting list of positions Arsenal are actively chasing this summer includes the following: a goalkeeper, a possible right back, depending on a respectable bid being received for Hector Bellerin. Make him a respectable player and you get a respectable bid. If you make him a joke man, you're going to get a joke man bid. I'm not saying he is one. Possible right back, you need a right back because, again, you have Maitland-Niles, Chambers, Cedric Suarez, you know, Bellerin. I'm probably missing out someone, probably Billy the janitor. Bearman can play right back, but who's number one? And who is number one for 38 games? Because I like Chambers. Chambers stays and be part of the squad and able to play there for me. But is he a 38-game right back that you can bet your life in? Boy, I don't know. Bellerin, we've been down that road. Centre back, in brackets, the Ben White discussions roll on. A left back, obviously Tavares has been brought in. Why are you mentioning players that have been signed then? 2 centre midfielders, obviously Albert Sambi Lokonka's unveiling is imminent, and a more experienced partner for Partey is on the wish list, as well as that second playmaker. So I'm of the belief that I'm looking at 8.5 or a 10. You man are on a 10 and an 8.5. So that makes me say get Aouar even more. But boy, it's what it is. That 7 potential incomings if Edu manages to make all the necessary arrangements. Arsenal are still hope to sign 2 of England's Euro 2020 squad, White and Ramsdale. In the early stages of the tournament, none of their relevant parties considered the interest a distraction. However, as Arsenal advanced into the latter rounds, the desire from all parties to focus on the Euros put negotiations on ice. Brighton have fielded inquiries from other big clubs for White, but Arsenal's interest remains the most aggressive and advanced. Ramsdale is seen as a prospect to fill the gap between 2 goalkeepers at opposite ends of the experience scale, with Leno and Arthur Okonku. Arsenal want someone able to provide imminent cover, but also potentially be their number 1 in the future. I mean, Ramsdale, you got into the England squad really on a technicality. Being Arsenal's next second choice isn't going to get you going to the World Cup. Do as you wish. And does he, how good is he with his feet? Because again, he needs to be a good goalie. And I feel sick mentioning the keeper's feet first, but you need a ball playing keeper. You can't really play ball playing out from the back. And if you're going to teach him, then you're going to have some teething problems with that. He probably makes similar mistakes to Arthur Okonku in that, with respect to him. They had some positive reports on Ramsdale's character and ability from the England squad. Relegated Sheffield United asking price is a stumbling block as they seek a fee comfortable in excess of 18 million. They paid Bournemouth for him last summer. Arsenal's latest offer has been rejected, but they maintain an interest and will pursue this again. 2 goalkeepers could leave. Alex Runnison is available for transfer, and young Estonian international Kyle Hine is subject of interest from Brighton, who need a replacement keeper. Obviously, Matt Ryan, who was on loan with us, went to Sociedad. In the cases of White and Ramsdale, and indeed all their transfers, Arsenal hope to make use of the add-ons to mitigate imminent cost. Some of these are contingent on achievements such as Champions League qualification. Essentially, if Arsenal recover their former financial situation, they are more comfortable paying premium prices. In central midfield, Lokonga's arrival rather than Tavares at left back is indicative of a push to sign a different profile player, ones with age and potential on their side. In red, like I highlighted, the days of signing from the apparent bargain bucket of veterans look to be numbered, but don't expect to see many more transfers of Williams/Cedric Suarez variety unless the circumstances are either particularly desperate or an opportunity arises that is also too good to be true. Well, hopefully people have learned from their mistakes. Spoke about Locatelli and how we're hoping to see something there. Xhaka is still expected to depart. But apparently there's been none of the suitors for him or Bellerin have come close to Arsenal's asking price. So we're stuck in the mud. At the same time as Arsenal were working on incomings, Arsenal have knots to untangle when it comes to outgoings, even before any new arrivals. A bloated squad needs reducing. While a number of players are obviously for sale, there are still discussions to be made on numerous others, in particular the young Haylen graduates, Joe Willett, Maitland-Niles, Eddie Nketiah and Reece Nelson are all currently unsure who they will be playing for in the coming season and whether any move might be on loan or sell. Although it is clear Arsenal need to raise some funds for purchases, loan fees in some cases might be regarded as better value than selling in a depressed market. Balancing their books and their squad is not an inevitable task. Is an inevitable task in weeks ahead. So that's that, people. And we've got a next article to get onto. But that's that, man. Let me see what you lot are saying, because that was a bit of a long read. And yeah, it told you what we've kind of already known, and it's told me what I already know. In that end of the day, I can't see somebody signing for this club right now. Where is everybody? Simple as that. Hopefully there's more positive news in relation to the transfer market for everyone.